Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are in the front and we are going to finish up our fall porch decoration. I am so excited to get this done. As you know, last week we were out of town. We went on a few field trips together. I took you guys to some farms and it was so much fun to just start back up our Meet the Farmers, Meet the Gardeners series. It's just such a great way to showcase these places, especially to some of you that are far away, and I cannot wait for next year's tours. I'm so excited. So anyways, when we were up in Skagit Valley, we went to Gordon Skagit Farms where I showed you guys all of the beautiful pumpkins and decor, and it's such a beautiful place. If you have the opportunity to go, I highly recommend it. We drove about 4.5 hours to go, but it was totally worth it. I would go any day of the week again. And we just I pulled so much inspiration from that place just because every year it's different and it's so artistic and fun and beautiful. So we picked up a bunch of pumpkins. I went a little bit overboard, not too much, because I did buy a lot of local pumpkins, so I don't feel too terrible. But anyways, I have some stuff I wanted to show you guys, and I'm excited to get this wrapped up so we can start really like feeling and falling into fall and just really being welcomed when we come into our home with that whole fall vibe. So let me show you what I have today and then we will get started. So for our pumpkins, these are all of the beautiful treasures I got. These are not all from Skagit Valley. We actually picked up a lot of these from local farms, but look at these big ones. I'm so excited for these. I want to rinse a little bit of that dirt off of some of them. I kind of went with kind of muted colors, nothing too bright. I think our brightest one is probably our princess, our Cinderella's actually, sorry. And I think those are still in the car, so I have to get those out. But I wanted just to go with like these lighter tones, and then some of these carving ones over here are going to be for our deck, because we do use the deck like on a daily basis, and I want to be able to enjoy that space with fall too. So we have just a few of these to go in the back, but just enough to just add a pop of pumpkin magic. And then this is the front area where we're going to continue our decoration. Now, these are the two containers that you and I planted together in a previous video, and they're doing so well. Just look at all of that purple and pink. Oh my gosh, I've been enjoying these so much. And after we put them together, we talked about these 3 smaller containers and what we were going to do. And the options were either heuchera, mums, or pumpkin stacks. A lot of you had some amazing ideas, and I went with the mums. And here's why. I wanted to add more flower power over here. And I think the purple mums we picked up will just really tie in and bounce off of all the other colors. And luckily, because I'm a plant hoarder, I have a bunch of heucheras I haven't planted yet. So if we need to, we can always swap them out. But I do think the mums are going to look really pretty over here. And then I have this ladder. This is a ladder that's not functional. You cannot stand on it. But what I wanted to do is put it in the corner over here and add some pumpkins to it. We kind of saw the pumpkin ladders at Gordon Skagit Farms, and I just love that idea. I love that you can use something like this to display your pumpkins or any other sort of decoration, especially when it comes to like a fall vibe situation. I think that is going to look so stunning. So I want to bring that in. I might move the stump. I kind of still want to use it. I wonder if I can, I'm just thinking, maybe we can just keep it behind a ladder. Maybe not though. I don't know, we'll see. And then with the third container that we have, because I only picked up 2 mums, we'll probably just do a pumpkin stack. What do you guys think? Let's start out there. And I also harvested some hops to make a quick wreath if we have time to hang on the door. And I think that will just tie in everything together. I think that's a good idea. So let's get started, and then we'll have a look and see how everything looks and feels. right, here is where we are. There's a lot of pumpkins, but the goal was to have a lot of pumpkins, and a lot of pumpkins is what we have. I love the way this turned out. I honestly feel like a little pumpkin truck came here and just boop, dumped everything on our porch, and that is the exact look that I wanted to do. One thing I would like to find is maybe a spotlight that we can tuck in back there. That way we can see this big, beautiful pumpkin over here. And I know it's tucked away and it's like, what's the point of having it there? But when we have guests and friends and family and trick-or-treaters come over, they love taking pictures right here. So that pumpkin, it may not seem like it's doing much, but it's filling in an empty space. So I always like to tuck in bigger pumpkins where I can, just to add that interest everywhere where we don't have containers. So starting over here with some of the pumpkin stacks, one of the things that I like to do is really add in moss between each pumpkin stack, just because I think it adds another element of interest. So they're just not stacked on top of each other. Another reason why I love this is if you have gaps, like if I take this out, you see how there's a big old gap there? Not anymore. It's our little secret. So it kind of helps with that situation. And if you have pumpkins that are really off balance but you want to stack them, you can use the moss as that cushion to help level your pumpkins, if that makes sense. And I also put this baby cutie all the way up here just because I think that's so cute. Now with this pumpkin here, I didn't add a stack just because I wanted it to be on its own. It's such a unique pumpkin. I've never seen anything like this. We got this one at Gordon Skagit Farms, and it's a new variety to them this year, but gosh, I cannot remember the name of this one. But if you know, let me know in the comment section. But I just wanted it to have a moment for itself. I also incorporated some of the pumpkins that we grew, which is always exciting and something I love to do because I can just point out to everyone, I grew this one, I grew this one, and you know, just show off that way, which is really silly, I know, but I get so proud of the things that I grow. We also added in some of this corn that I picked up at a local nursery, and I think that just, again, adds that whole fall feel. I didn't do corn stalk, and I used to do corn stalk every year. In fact, over here in the front of our garage, I used to do a huge display, which I'll pop up a picture if I have any. Yeah, I do have pictures. So we did a video on that years ago, and it was like a whole situation. But ever since then, I like corn stalk, and I think it looks beautiful on pillars, but I always feel like doing something different every year. But also I love the way corn looks. So I think this was a great way to incorporate that element of fall decoration. Now the ladder is probably one of my favorite things because I love displaying the pumpkins like this. I think this is so cute and fun. And this ladder, we actually got it off of Marketplace. So don't go out if you want to do this. Don't buy some, you know, fancy vintage ladder. Don't do that. Just go to Marketplace, search wood ladder, and you will probably find an old painter's ladder being sold like this. Obviously, this is not functional in the sense that you can climb on it. It's pretty loose. So I wouldn't use it for that purpose, but for decorating, 100%. 100% I recommend you buying that because you can use this for fall, summer, winter. It's just such a fun way to incorporate something different other than just containers and pumpkins. I also added just a couple of little gourds to our containers. Nothing major. I think that just added just a little, you know, a little zhuzh of pumpkin in there. Now my camera died when I was finishing our wreath, and I won't lie, it could be better. It's not my best work, but I actually love the way it's just flowy and kind of effortless, and it's not very rigid. And I don't know, it's growing on me. I might come back and just tuck some things in here, but you know what? I'm actually just loving the simplicity of this wreath. I didn't even use string to tie it together. I just used the vine and wrapped it around the form we had. And that's what we got. Now over here with this pumpkin stack, I just kept it to 2 because if I did it any taller, it would cover up some of the container, and I didn't want that to happen. Again, I used a little bit of moss in between each one and put these 2 little cuties up here as well, just because it just, I don't know. I mean, come on, isn't that adorable? Like, how can you not love that? And we grew these, which is even more exciting. I have a couple of call outs to mention when working with pumpkins. I am somebody who loves to wash my pumpkins. I know not everybody does it, but I find ours tend to do better longer term when they are washed. Now keep in mind, I keep our pumpkins up until Thanksgiving, and then it's like swap, it's time for Christmas. In fact, even after Halloween, I'm already like in the Christmas mode. We won't get into that because I can talk about Christmas all day, every day. I am such a spaz for Christmas. I love it so much. Anyways, the pumpkins that we do buy are washed, and so those I don't have to rewash, but the ones that still have a little bit of mud on them, I like to just rinse them off with a little bit of soapy water, just because, again, I don't want any dirt on my porch, one. Two, if there's any wetness or moisture in any of them, that will tend to rot your pumpkins faster. So just a little bit of soapy water, do it out in your driveway. You don't have to get fancy about it. Now, one question I get a lot whenever I share all of the pumpkins that we buy is, what do you do when you're done with them? A couple of things. One, I give it to our friends and family who have chickens, for the ones that we don't really like to eat or don't taste very good. So it's usually like the bigger ones. All of the smaller ones we like to eat. In fact, our whole family loves pumpkins. So we will roast these pumpkins all winter long. And I don't have a root cellar. I just store them on our deck. So they stay pretty cold. As long as you keep them out of like direct rain or snow, they will be fine. So we just like to roast them either on our grill or in our oven with a little bit of salt, olive oil. If we're doing a sweet pumpkin, we just do like chunks of pumpkin with a little bit of sugar. It's so good and perfect with ice cream. I love that. So anyways, that's what we do with our pumpkins. They get two lives. Yes, they serve a purpose for decorating and making me happy, but they also will be fed to farm animals, and most of them we will eat ourselves. So that's another way you can justify buying all of these pumpkins, is not only to make you happy, but it will provide food for you and your family all season long, as long as you're picking the right ones. You can always look for ones that are good for baking, ones that are actually good for like culinary cooking and for savory dishes. So I never feel bad for buying this many pumpkins because, again, we eat them, so it's okay. One other quick call out, if you plan to use your pumpkins out in your actual garden and you want to put them in your landscape, you can totally do that. I love to do that, but you want to make sure you elevate them so they're not touching the soil directly. You can use a saucer, you could use cardboard, or you can use like a wreath form, something like that, just to elevate them so they're not directly on soil and getting wet and bugs on them, because that will cause them to rot a lot faster. So keep that in mind if you want to add them to your landscape in your garden. It is getting dark, so I won't have time to decorate our deck tonight, but I will use all of these other pumpkins on our deck, and I'll make sure to show you guys in one of our next videos. All right, guys, well, that will wrap up today's video. I'm so happy that we got to finish this. It just feels so nice to now walk through the door. I already showed my family. I was like, hurry, come on. Look what I did. I was so proud of what I did. But I think it's just, for me, I am somebody, and this sounds kind of goofy, but I am somebody who loves to celebrate the holidays and all of the seasons. And to do things like this, yes, it might be like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of pumpkins, but it's what makes me happy, right? And you have to do those things. You have to create those magical moments in your life that make you happy. And it's, no matter how silly or weird it might be to some people, if they don't get it, that's fine. I love things like this. I love sitting out here and just looking at the pumpkins. I get excited about those things, and I can't wait to enjoy these throughout the whole season and just really get into that fall mood. So anyways, thank you again for helping me decorate this front area and for hanging out with me today in my garden, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.